Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin and Solana. It's currently Tuesday the 20th of February. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got new charts to dive into. We've got a lot of bullish news to talk about. We've got reasons why Bitcoin is probably going to see a supply shock within the next 40 days. And in that time frame, how Solana can get up to $142. As always, we're going to start off with the news, then we'll dive into the charts. So starting off with the Solana news. Now, for the Solana mobile, the second snapshot will be taken in just 2 days. Basically, this is a leaderboard snapshot. So if you have purchased your Solana mobile 2, which I highly recommend you do. I've been talking about this for quite a few weeks now. Back when it was $450, they've increased the price to $500. Basically, if you have purchased this device, you'll receive a referral code. If you start referring people, then you'll get on their leaderboard and hopefully you get one of these NFTs, which will be airdropped to you if you're in the top 1,500 referrals. Personally, I am in the top 1,500 referrals thanks to you guys, so appreciate that. If you do want to get your Solana mobile 2, then use my link down below in the description. Moving on to Whales Market, they've added a ton of new pre-market sales. This is one of the coins that I've talked about on my channel being in my top 5 for this bull run on Solana. I definitely think you should have some whales. It's had a decent correction over the past week or so, but they just keep on listing out tokens. They've got a beautiful revenue share. They constantly have buyback pressure from their revenue share. So once again, whales, absolute hidden gem. Now on the Solana NFT front, there is going to be a project which is going to be revealing today, not minting today. It minted about a week ago, and this is the GoonsClub. They've got a 3D collection. Basically, they've got 5 different clubs, and within those clubs, the first one, which is the anime club, is going to be releasing today. So some of the artwork on this just looks really cool. Now, I personally minted this when it was at 1 Solana. The anime floor is now at 2.3 Solana. You had about a 25% chance of getting that, and the general floor price is around about 1.3. I personally said in my Discord that I was going to be flooring all of the other clubs to buy more anime club, and that was a beautiful decision because the anime club is just absolutely outperforming right now. And if this is your first time hearing about this project and you've missed out from minting at 1 Solana and you're now looking at the anime floor at 2.3 Solana, come and join my Discord. I give so much of this hidden alpha in my Discord. I'm not going to give you all the alpha on YouTube. That's your incentive to come and join the Discord. There's a Solana group chat down here, tons of alpha in here, tons of ways to make money, so join that if you want to make more money. But anyway, I've got a ton of these anime tokens. I really like the artwork on this. Not sponsored or anything, but just look at some of this artwork. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll probably post in my Discord when I mint these and I'll show you what I got. Moving on, Coinbase Commerce teases Solana and Lightning Network integration. This was teased over on X by Lauren Dowling, the firm's project lead. She's noted over on X that the plans to integrate Solana and the Lightning Network are the firm's attempt to continually explore new ways to enhance the experiences of its retail customers. If you didn't know what Coinbase Commerce is, it's basically an offshoot of Coinbase's trading platform, and it's designed to enable the acceptance of crypto payments by different merchants across the world. So by integrating things like Solana Pay and the Bitcoin Lightning Network, this just onboards retail and merchants into the crypto space, which is very nice. Now, Drip and WorldCoin have partnered, and you can score bonus droplets by connecting your Orb verified world ID. Now, I'm personally not going to get involved in this. I don't really want any of my, incognito Web3 wallets to have my world ID on it, but nonetheless, I'm just putting it out there in case some of you do. Now, as it's the 20th of February, we've been waiting for the Bonk Dragon unveil. So if you come back over to the Bonk Dragon website, I'll leave the link to this down below. But, if you have staked, you probably should already have this bookmarked. Now, if you come over to their website and you can see ready for the Bonk Dragon, if you paste your wallet address that you're staking and submit that, you can see there's something like this over here. Now, this is looking more and more like this is going to be some type of NFT at some point in time. Although at least as of now, it looks like everyone's going to have the same attributes. So basically to get the first free, all you need to do is lock up your bonk for 6 months, because if you lock up for 6 months, you're going to lock up for more than 3 and 1 month, and that's going to get you the first free attributes. I'm probably going to have a separate video on this, on how to get the other 2 attributes a little bit later on in time, just because I am not fully versed on Bonkmas and I'm not 100% sure how you get these other 2 attributes at this moment in time. So I'm going to do a little bit of research in this. You've got about another 9 days, so expect an update on this from me very soon. All of the other attributes are currently hidden at this moment in time, so it looks like we'll have quite some time to reveal the entire dragon, and once it's fully revealed, I don't know if that means we're going to get an airdrop of some new meme coin. Maybe it's a dragon meme coin. I don't know if this is going to be an NFT airdrop. Like, we don't know at this moment in time. But nonetheless, I'll keep you up to date. I'm going to continue blasting through this and getting all the attributes, and I'll let you know how you can get the rest of them. So there we go. That is the Solana news. Let's now move on to Bitcoin. Also, still a little bit coldy in case there's a little bit of difference in my voice. Also, remember, we don't post the Bitcoin and Solana daily updates over the weekend. I personally missed Monday. Sorry, I was feeling a little bit crap. Still feeling a little bit coldy. But we're back for the rest of the weekly updates. Now, let's move right on to the Bitcoin news. Now, Coinbase sees a major Bitcoin withdrawal, and it currently holds the lowest amount of Bitcoin since 2015. This was after overnight, more than 18,000 Bitcoin was withdrawn from Coinbase. Now, this data was revealed from Coinbase and confirmed by Arkham Intelligence, Glassnode, and CoinGlass, and this substantial flow was nearly $1 billion removed from Coinbase's exchange balance. The funds were collectively sent to several different addresses and split across new wallets, ranging from 45 million to 171 million. So this is not a retail outflow. This wasn't retail just deciding all at once to withdraw at night, in the middle of the night. This was, coordinated whales, or this was just, one big entity. Now, at this moment in time, as you can see by the Bitcoin balances on exchanges for Coinbase, Coinbase currently holds approximately 390,000 Bitcoin valued at 20.5 billion. This balance represents less than 2% of the total Bitcoin supplies on exchanges, which is actually the lowest proportion Coinbase has held since back in 2015. So let's do some simple maths real quick with a tiny bit of insight into the markets. Now, where are most of these 9 ETFs getting their Bitcoin from? They're getting it from Coinbase. That's been very well documented up until now. How much Bitcoin does Coinbase currently hold on their balance sheet? Round about 20 billion. How much have these 9 ETFs been buying every single day, causing this balance sheet to just decrease day after day after day? Well, we can look at the cumulative flows. On average, within the past few weeks or so, they've been taking about 500 million Bitcoin, or $500 million every single day. Now, we haven't unfortunately had an update on this for yesterday because the US markets were closed, so the spot ETFs weren't trading yesterday. That's why, unfortunately, we don't have the BitMEX research cumulative flows update for yesterday. We'll have to let you know tomorrow when we have the cumulative flows update for today, the 20th of February. But since our last update on the 16th of February, we don't have any more updates. So once again, it's very simple maths. Coinbase has 20.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. These ETFs are buying about 500 million or 0.5 billion every single day. How long does that mean we have until there's a supply shock in Bitcoin? Approximately 41 days. Now, I know the ETFs don't trade over the weekend. So if you want to discount weekend trading, then you're going to be looking at the 16th of April. That is 41 trading days away from this moment in time. However, I'm going to say we've got about 40 to 41 days. Why is that? Because the inflows, the cumulative flows have been increasing over time. So I wouldn't say it takes more than 40 days for the balances on these exchanges to just start decreasing. And if there's a supply crunch, well, what has to happen? Well, the price has to go up. That's very, very simple economics. In terms of the Bitcoin balances on all exchanges, you can see they're still falling like a rock. They're falling off all of exchanges. Now, if we're looking at just Coinbase Pro, you can see yesterday that massive spike of outflows, but it's the same across all exchanges. All exchanges are having their Bitcoin taken out. So it's probably not going to take longer than 41 days or so until Coinbase is probably going to have to start cranking up the premium, or they're going to have to get their supply from somewhere else. There's going to be a supply crunch across all exchanges. There's tons of different ways this can go. We haven't seen anything like this before, so there's not much point in me speculating what could happen. I just want to put this on your radar. I just want to let you know that, if this keeps on happening day after day after day, then, from a charting perspective, it might not make sense, but we might just keep on moving up in a straight line. Anyway, wrapping up on the news, there's 66 days until the next Bitcoin halving. And I want to show you one chart for Bitcoin, which is going to move us into our TA segment. Now, whether this is news, TA, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Let's look at this first chart over on Bitcoin. Let's just call it the start of the technical analysis segment. Now, what I've got over here is Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. With these yellow lines in the sand, what you're looking at is the halving dates. You've got the first halving, second halving, third halving, and approximately 66 days from now is going to be round about the 29th of April. That's an approximate date on when we can expect the next Bitcoin halving to happen. Now, as we're on the monthly time frame, it makes more sense to move this from the 1st of April to the 1st of May because that is a closer date than when the halving is going to be. Now, what you can see is this. Bitcoin's first halving, I don't want to take too much into account on this because Bitcoin was very nascent, but we did have a very, very slight correction on the monthly time frame where Bitcoin moved from about $17 all the way back down to $9 right before the halving on the monthly time frame. Now, with these orange lines in the sand that I've highlighted in the rest of the 4-year cycles, what you can see is these are the 618 Fibonacci's from the bull run high down to the bear market low. All of these orange boxes are the 618 fibs from high to low. Now, in all other instances, if we come over to the weekly time frame, as we can see in the 2016 bull run, on the weekly time frame, we retraced right into the 618 fib and we did not manage to get above it. This is when we had a correction coming into the halving. And then after the halving, we blew up into the next bull run. Now, in the 2020 bull run, 2018, whenever you want to start the date from, we had the bear market. On the weekly time frame, we retraced into the 618 fib in 2019. We touched the 618 fib, did not manage to get above it, and we corrected. We had a brutal correction coming into the pre-halving. Now, once again, guys, I know what happened over here. This was a black swan event. However, the black swan event happened here. This was a correction that was coming into the halving, and this was correcting for months and months and months before we had the black swan event. So, you know, of course, this was very, very bad. This was a black swan event. Nonetheless, we were already correcting pre-halving before the black swan event. So we corrected into the halving, and then we started exploding after the halving, just like we did very similarly over here. Now, this is the first time in Bitcoin's history, if we're looking at the weekly time frame, where Bitcoin has come up into the 618 fib, and we've had a correction for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and we've just decided to blast above the 618 fib like it wasn't even there, and we've closed a weekly candle above the 618 fib. Now, this was literally the least severe correction coming into the 618 pre-halving that we've ever seen in Bitcoin's entire history. So, you know, what would I say from this? Are we just not going to have any more corrections from now on? I wouldn't say that. I still think 30-40% corrections are on the table for Bitcoin. I still think Bitcoin is probably going to end up coming to our price targets. Now, we've been talking about on the higher time frames how I've been looking at the CME gap at 53,500 and how I've been looking at the 786 Fibonacci up here at 58,000. And I've been saying to you guys, I think we can get more overextended. I think we can hit these price targets before we have that 30-40% correction, which tends to happen pre-halving. However, I do just want to put this on your radar. I don't think that people should be banking for corrections. I don't think people should be on the sidelines waiting for the corrections. I'm going to say what I've been saying for the past few videos. If dips happen, then they're worth buying. I said that as soon as the spot ETFs came out. I think the spot ETFs came out. We had a nice rally to the upside. We immediately pushed back down to about 38,000. I said, guys, dips are for buying. These dips are not going to last long with the spot ETFs, and they got bought back up. So now we're all the way up here around about 51, 52,000. If we do have a correction, because once again, I still do want to highlight, I told you I was going to be a little bit more risk off when we came up to my CME gap at 53,500. So far as of today, we came up to 53,200. So I am warning you, I am letting you know once again what I have been talking about in the past few videos is the fact that we are really, really overextended on the daily time frame on a lot of metrics. And when everyone's very euphoric and everyone's saying, hey, this narrative is different, Bitcoin's just going to go up in a straight line, that's normally when we have a correction. But I think we've got a little bit of two-sidedness right now. We've really never seen spot ETFs. We've never seen Coinbase outflows at this precedented level. We've never seen the balances on exchanges this low. We've never seen buying pressure like this. So I think it's kind of, two-sided. It's a little bit weird right now to say what's going to happen. What I will say is probably within the next few weeks or so coming into the halving, I do think we're going to see a correction. I don't think this, slight correction that just got instantly bought up is going to be enough of a correction to satisfy people. However, I do also want to highlight that I think once we have this correction, there's probably not going to be many corrections after this, which sounds kind of crazy, but I want to show you this chart. Over on the daily time frame, look at the 50 TMA strategy. If you've been waiting to buy based on signals kind of letting you know, hey, the 50 TMA now says we're bearish and now we're moving back into bullish, so now we should probably buy. Or if you're looking at things like, the Bollinger Bands, waiting for us to come back down to the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, or waiting for us to catch up with the daily EMA ribbons, I do think this is going to happen in this instance very soon. However, I do want to kind of come back to the previous bull run and just let you know that I think we're in this sort of phase where we've had that kind of small correction and accumulation next to the halving, and I think we're probably in some phase like this where we're probably going to have that final local blow off top. We're gonna correct after the halving or just into the halving, and then I think we're just gonna start blasting faces. And this is what happens with Bitcoin. A lot of people kind of get bored with Bitcoin because it travels sideways for so long, and people say it's never going to go up on some explosive phase, and then it just goes up in a straight line until the top is in. That is normally what happens in bull runs. Bull runs do not last as long as you actually think they do. They're very, very short-lived a lot of the time. Well, I say short-lived, at least in terms of if we're looking at the 4-year cycle, it doesn't, last anywhere near, a year really. In that euphoria phase, you can see before we came up to the double top, it was really about 193 days where we went up in a straight line, and the bear market was obviously a lot longer than that. But nonetheless, here's what I want to show you. If you're looking at things like a 50 TMA strategy or a Bollinger Band strategy and waiting for us to come back down to a fair valuation at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands or catch up with the 50 TMA, in the previous bull run, you got one entry right here at 10,000. Now, if you missed that entry and you were like, okay, now I'm going to look at these corrections and I'm going to hope it comes back down to the 50 TMA, the next entry you got on a long confirmation was at 34,000. And then, boom, that was the top of the cycle. You didn't close underneath the 50 TMA again. You didn't get another entry until we came back up and double top. So I just want to kind of warn you, we're seeing crazy outflows right now from these ETFs. We haven't seen anything like this. And I think a lot of the time, if you're in this kind of linear uptrend where you're just going up in a straight line, sometimes doing TA isn't always the best idea. I think you just kind of need to look at the narrative at this moment in time. Sure, we can look at, these micro patterns and say, hey, if we get above this level, hey, if we do this, then, we might do this. But regardless, I just want to kind of show you that I think we're in this kind of final stage leading up to the halving. Yes, I don't think we're just going to go up in a straight line, but I do think we're going to have one final correction coming into the price targets that I've talked about. We've pretty much already hit the CME gap, so we might be seeing the correction now. We might be seeing it in a week. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I will be saying is, as we have just looked at with a lot of these charts, Bitcoin has really never been this strong, at least from a Fibonacci perspective. And this is because every single dip that happens, it's just being bought up by these ETFs. So are we never going to have a correction again? That's not what I'm saying. I will just be saying if we have, 20, 30, 40% corrections, I wouldn't be looking to time them as much. I would just be buying every single dip that happens coming into, this bull run that we're seeing. Now, moving on to the TA for Solana, you can see we've actually changed the micro wave count a tiny bit. In fact, it's the original wave count that we drew when this very small wave right here was wave 1. We originally redrew it, so this was wave 1, and then we were expecting a wave 5 to the upside. As you can see in the microwave count, not exactly what ended up happening. So I'm still looking at the same kind of shape, the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the macro wave 5 heading above this previous top at $126. It looks like the original drawing that we were drawing is coming into fruition, and as you can see, we've had the 5-wave top out at $118, which originally we said was going to be the resistance, but we redrew, so kind of shot ourselves in the foot. But nonetheless, as you can see, we've kind of looking like we're having this A, B, C correction right now on Solana. Now, this C wave can go a little bit lower. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Personally, I'd really like to see it bottom out at this local low around about $103. But nonetheless, this is what we're currently looking at. And especially as in the lower time frames, Bitcoin is having a little bit of a pullback, we kind of just have to keep our eyes on the chart and see how this is going to develop. If Bitcoin does manage to bottom within the next 24 to 48 hours and Solana manages to bottom, I'd say above about $100, then this could be looking like this is the bottom of wave 4, and we could be getting ready for that next 5 wave back up to the upside. Now, here's what I want to show you. Wave 3 typically in Elliott wave theory, not all the time, but typically wave 3 is the largest wave and wave 5 is slightly smaller than wave 3. However, in Elliott wave theory, sometimes you have something known as non-extended waves, where wave 1 and 3 typically, which are very extended, become non-extended waves. In this case, wave 5 can be a 2.618 extension from wave 3 to wave 4. So if we're looking at this price target drawing from the wave 3 high down to the perceived wave 4 low, it may end up being lower, we don't know at this moment in time. But if we do come up to this level, then we might see wave 5 top out for around about $143 over on Solana. So we'll have to keep you updated. Obviously, if we start, going even lower and we start, coming down to like $100, then we'll have to re-update you on a different price target. But at least as of right now, with the local low being in around about $103 for Solana, this is currently what we're looking at. In the higher time frames, this would put us on the daily coming into this 1.236 around about $138 from the breakout of the bull flag, and on the weekly time frame this would run us right into roundabout the resistance at $144 at this previous local top. Bear in mind we've also got a 618 fib at $166. This is anywhere between $140 and $166 is where I see that next local top forming for Solana. Now, how overextended can Solana get? Can altcoins really rally this hard? Well, once again, Ethereum is getting continuation from the alt season fractal that we've been showing you for the past few weeks or so. We've really bounced on this sort of level and it looks like we're moving up higher. ETH BTC is dominating right now. And also if I show you the market cap dominance for Bitcoin, I do just want to show you in terms of the Bitcoin dominance in this cycle, it was around about 98%. In the next cycle, it was around about 78%. Obviously, it's in a downtrend. The more saturated the crypto market becomes, the more altcoin projects release day after day after day after day, stealing market share from Bitcoin. Of course, there's millions and millions of meme coins, millions of altcoins releasing every day. That means the Bitcoin dominance is going to, of course, decrease to the downside over time. So we probably will expect a lower high to form somewhere around about this region. Maybe it's a little bit higher, don't have a crystal ball, but it's going to be somewhere around about this region. And in that case, we're probably going to see the total 2 take a huge run to the upside, just like it did in 2020. And we're going to see a crazy alt season. So that's all I've got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash like, smash comment, share the videos with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.